Hey, Bo Gadget back with more interesting attachments to, of course, my favorite camera, or should I say one of my favorite cameras, the Sony NX3. As you know, this has been discontinued, and they have a follow-up with the new Sony C3. Smaller camera, but again, same thing, still my favorite camera, but moving forward. As you remember from my last video, we were talking about the Sony E-adapter. Remember the E-adapter? There was a firmware upgrade that allowed for Sony alpha lenses to work on this and be able to use the autofocus. Well, guess what? Found a company here in Illinois called Photodiox, which is F-O-T-O-D-I-O-X. And what do? They make other lens attachments or adapters for this particular camera, which is absolutely outstanding. So like, if you have other lenses around there that are just collecting dust, or you say you moved on to a different type of camera, well, guess what? New technology is now allowing us to put these adapters on these particular lenses. For instance, we're going to start off with the FD lens. One of my favorite lenses here is a 50mm 1.8. Really good, as you know, when you're shooting with SLR. 50mm is pretty good when you're shooting video. You know, this shoots in 720. What's really cool with Photodiox, they came out with this really cool adapter. This now allows you to use your FD lenses if you have any around the house, which is really cool. As you know, as we spoke last time, again, these lenses are interchangeable. There's a little release button here that takes it off. Excellent. There's that wonderful sensor for the Sony camera. And then let's go ahead and line up the FD adapter. You're going to make sure that once you get it in, you're going to hear a click sound that lets you know that it's solid and it's secured. The wonderful stainless steel covering right there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to detach this now. Just so you'll know, there is a little locking mechanism right there. You see it? And that locks in the lens for stability. What we're going to do is open that baby up. And there's a little red dot which you must align with the camera till you hear a click sound. Once you hear that, and then you lock it right in. And guess what? Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? And the interesting is now, if you can look real close, you're going to see the aperture open and close. And isn't that something? Now, as you will know, when you're putting on these adapters, it does not work in the autofocus mode, so you're going to be pretty much shooting pictures in manual. But you know, good photographers will use it in manual. But look at how good that looks. Isn't that something? Now, we can also change this to another type of lens. Now, this is the 50mm again. You have to release it. And then I have a 135mm 2.5 lens. This is another older lens, very retro style. For some of my friends who know me, I like that retro style. Now, again, on this one, you know, these older type of lenses have their own locking mechanisms on it. Again, we're going to open it up. And again, you must line it up correctly. And once you line it up, then you lock it in place, and then you lock it again. And look at that. 135mm lens on a NX3. Isn't that retro? I mean, look at that. It looks really cool. Okay, now, that's not it. Let's go ahead and completely remove this whole housing here. Not only can I do the FD lenses, Photodiox also came out with a lens adapter for, believe it or not, EOS lenses for Canon. Wow. Now, this particular one is a ESO to Sony Pro adapter. It's made of a little harder steel, very sturdy for people using their lenses all the time. But this will now enable me, I shoot with a 50D and a T1I and a 7D. This will now allow me to take all of my Canon lenses, that's right, all my Canon lenses, and put on here. Now, again, I like shooting with 50mm. Same thing applies here. Locks right in place. Very strong, sturdy adapter. Connects right to the camera. And let's go ahead and remove the hood here. One of my favorite lenses again, 50mm 1.4. Beautiful. It's a lot of glass, isn't it? Now, same thing applies here. Lining up the red dot. Do you hear the click sound? Voila, look at that. I have got a 50mm 1.4 Canon EOS lens on an NX3. Isn't that something? That is awesome. It's a little bulky, but you know what? I like it. The fact that I can actually use a point and shoot camera and use a professional lens on this camera is unbelievable. Now, just so you'll know, there's a feature inside of this that you have to disable. If you don't disable it, it will not shoot the picture because it won't recognize the lens. So remember, disable it, and then it would allow you to take the picture. Isn't that something? And all the other lenses that I can be able to put on here. Now, you've got to remember too, there is a little unlocking mechanism here for the Canon lenses as well. Pull that baby back, and it unlocks the lens. I'm going to try another lens here from Canon, which is the 28 by 135 standard photo lens. Look at that. Same thing applies. Make sure you put on manual focus because the autofocus doesn't work. And look at that. Big lens, small camera. And just kind of give you an idea that it does work. If you can see that a little bit, look at that. It does work. And look at the crispness. Hopefully you can get a good crisp view. Look at that. You see that? So just so you know, the company's called Photodiox, F-O-T-O-D-I-O-X. Very good company that uses these standard lenses. I think you will like it. Again, I'm a fan of this particular camera. It's a small camera, emergency camera, should I say, but it works. But I guarantee you should try it. Again, just wonderful. My next session, I'm going to hopefully get my hands on a Leica lens, and I've already got the Leica adapter. I'm attached it, so my next session we'll talk about that. But I hope that was some good information for you. But again, these are the new adapters that have come out for the Sony Nex lens. If you need more information, follow my website on YouTube, and hopefully I can get you a little bit more information. Have a great day. Peace.